Within this ancient understanding lies the truth of control is effortless, the precise way energy responds when you stop forcing and start aligning. Once you do this, something shifts, and what once felt impossible begins to unfold like magic. As you listen, you will realize that control was never about effort, but awareness. Control is effortless. Introduction. The art of manifestation dwells not in force, but in the subtle dance of alignment. You have been taught that control means exertion, that creation requires strain. Yet the ancient wisdom speaks of a different path, one where power flows through surrender, where mastery emerges through acceptance. The universe operates through vibration, each particle singing its own note in the cosmic symphony. When you attempt to control these energies through willpower alone, you create resistance. It is like trying to redirect a river with your bare hands, exhausting and ultimately futile. Instead, the key lies in understanding the river's natural flow and moving in harmony with it. This is the forgotten truth. The law of attraction responds not to your demands, but to your energy state. When you align your vibration with what you wish to experience, reality shifts naturally, effortlessly. It is not about making things happen, but allowing them to unfold. Think of how a flower blooms. It does not strain or struggle, yet it manifests its full potential through perfect alignment with natural law. This same principle governs all creation. Your role is not to force outcomes, but to cultivate the inner conditions that allow them to emerge. The ancient texts speak of this as wu wei, action through non-action. It is the paradox at the heart of true manifestation. By releasing the need to control, you gain access to a far greater power, the intelligence of the universe itself. As you embrace this wisdom, you will discover that what you seek is seeking you. The universe is not a dead machine to be manipulated, but a living consciousness that responds to your state of being. When you shift from trying to control to allowing yourself to receive, you tap into the natural flow of abundance. Learn to trust in this flow. Let go of the illusion of control and watch as life begins to move in magical ways. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Art of Surrender. Chapter 1. The Whisper of Allowing. In the tapestry of universal law, two tales weave together to unveil a sacred truth about manifestation. A young woman named Sadie Boone once chased her aspirations with fierce determination. She pursued her dreams as one might chase butterflies, with desperate lunges and grasping hands. Yet with each forceful attempt, her desires seemed to drift further from her reach, dancing away on winds of resistance. Through stillness, Sadie discovered what the ancients had always known. Serenity acts as the true magnetic force of creation. When she finally lowered her nets and stood in quiet acceptance, those same butterflies would often land softly upon her shoulders. The wisdom reveals itself. Intention must flow like water, clear in its direction, yet gentle in its movement. A thought crystallizes into reality, not through force, but through the alchemy of gratitude. When you shift from a state of yearning to one of appreciation, the universe mirrors this vibration back to you with magnificent precision. This truth found another witness in Jasper Ray, whose garden became a living testament to the power of ease. For years he had battled against nature, fighting to control every aspect of his plant's growth. His flowers withered under the weight of his anxiety. His vegetables struggled beneath his constant worry. Everything changed when Jasper ceased his argument with life and began to listen to its whispers. He learned to tend his garden with joy rather than urgency, and a miracle unfolded. His plants flourished with less effort than ever before. The flowers bloomed more vibrantly, the vegetables grew more abundantly, all because he had aligned himself with nature's rhythm rather than imposing his will upon it. Through these stories you glimpse the eternal principle. Energy blooms most beautifully in the soil of ease. True control manifests not through struggle, but through harmony with your own frequency. Practice. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space where you can rest your thoughts. Breathe deeply and repeat with gentle certainty, "All that I seek already exists within me." Let this truth settle into your being, replacing effort with calm acceptance. As you breathe, feel yourself floating on the rhythm of each inhale and exhale, allowing peace to expand beyond your physical form until it encompasses all that surrounds you. Chapter 2. The Current Beneath Thought. In the dance between desire and manifestation, a truth emerges as ancient as time itself. The power lies not in the force of your will, but in the gentleness of your surrender. This wisdom reveals itself through countless lives, including that of Millie Carter, whose journey mirrors your own potential for transformation. Millie moved through her days with a familiar weight, the burden of trying to control her career's direction through sheer determination. Each morning, she would arise and craft elaborate plans, schedules, and strategies, believing that through enough mental effort, success would bend to her will. Yet the more intensely she pushed, the more resistance she encountered, like a boat struggling against an invisible tide. The universe whispered its truth to her through exhaustion. Thoughts are indeed like boats upon the great ocean of existence, but emotion is the current that truly guides their journey. When Millie finally understood this principle, everything changed. She discovered that her anxiety-laden plotting actually created turbulent waters, while her moments of genuine joy and gratitude smoothed her path forward. This ancient teaching illuminates a fundamental truth. Your emotional state sets the coordinates for your manifestations far more precisely than any logical plan. When you align your inner frequency with the feeling of what you desire, rather than the desperate reaching for it, you tap into the natural flow of universal energy. Consider the tale of Floyd Harper, whose story echoes through the corridors of this timeless wisdom. Floyd had built his life on the foundation of control and forceful action. When circumstances stripped away everything he had accumulated, he discovered the futile nature of his approach. It was only when he released his grip on outcomes and embraced genuine gratitude for what remained that the universe began responding differently. Opportunities appeared without effort, connections formed spontaneously, and doors opened without being forced. His experience teaches us that the unseen currents of energy respond more readily to trust than to tension. When you release the need to manipulate every detail, you allow the natural intelligence of the universe to guide your path. The ancient practice of emotional alignment. As the day draws to a close, Find a quiet moment for this sacred practice. Observe where your emotions may be rowing against the current of your desires. Notice any resistance, any strain, any pushing against what is. Then, consciously relax into a state of appreciation. Let gratitude flow through you, reshaping your inner waters until your thoughts naturally drift toward joy. This is not mere relaxation. It is the ancient art of aligning your emotional frequency with the universal flow. Allow yourself to rest in this practice each evening, knowing that as you harmonize your emotional waters, you activate the true power of manifestation. Your thoughts will begin to glide effortlessly toward their natural fulfillment, carried by the gentle current of aligned emotion. Chapter 3. The Mirror of Intention. In the mountains long ago, there lived a young woman named Clara Finch, who yearned for love with such intensity that it consumed her thoughts day and night. She spent her days gazing at happy couples in the village square, her heart heavy with longing. Yet in her desperate search for connection, she remained blind to the affection that surrounded her. The gentle touch of morning sunlight, the embrace of warm evening air, the loyal companionship of her garden birds. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. When you strain to grasp what seems missing, you unknowingly push it further from reach. Your attention to absence creates more absence, for energy flows where focus goes. This is the divine paradox. That which you chase will forever elude you, while that which you appreciate multiplies naturally in your experience. Consider how a flower blooms. It does not strain or struggle, but simply opens to receive what already exists: sunlight, water, nutrients from the soil. In the same way, love flows most freely to those who recognize its presence rather than its lack. Victor Dean, a merchant from a distant shore, discovered this truth through an unexpected path. His days were filled with transactions, yet he felt disconnected from true companionship. One morning, he chose to shift his approach. Rather than seeking partnership, he began treating each person he met, from the street sweeper to the nobleman, with genuine warmth and interest. As Victor cultivated this practice of radiating love without attachment to outcome, something remarkable occurred. People began seeking his company, drawn to the authentic light he now emanated. Within months, he found himself surrounded by deep friendships, and soon after met his life companion, all without the desperate search that had previously defined his days. This mirrors an eternal truth. Your outer world reflects your inner state with perfect precision. When you vibrate at the frequency of lack, seeking fills your experience. When you align with abundance, recognizing love's presence in all forms, that very energy multiplies in your life. Like ripples on a pond, every thought and feeling you release creates waves in the fabric of reality. These waves return to you carrying experiences that match their original frequency. This is why forced pursuit often yields disappointment, while authentic appreciation attracts effortlessly. Ancient practice. As you move through each moment today, pause to smile inwardly at everything you encounter, both the pleasant and the challenging. See each experience as a reflection of your own consciousness. Practice radiating appreciation for what exists now and what is yet to come, knowing that your positive expectation serves as a magnet for matching experiences. Trust that the world is your faithful echo, responding not to your words or actions, but to the energy you broadcast. Chapter 4. The Still Magnet. In a bustling city of ceaseless motion, Hazel Crane chased success like a shadow, always moving, yet forever just beyond her grasp. Her calendar overflowed with meetings, her phone buzzed with endless notifications, and her mind raced with strategies and plans. Yet, with each achievement, the next goal seemed to retreat further into the distance, leaving her drained and questioning the meaning of her pursuits. The universe whispers truth through exhaustion. When your energy dims, it signals time to rediscover the power of stillness. Success does not emerge from constant motion, but from alignment with the natural flow of universal energy. Just as water finds its path without forcing its way through stone, abundance arrives most readily when we cease our desperate reaching. Consider how the moon pulls the tides without effort, how flowers turn to face the sun without strain. These are not mere poetic images. They reveal the fundamental law of attraction that governs all creation. Your energy field becomes a natural magnet when you release the tension of trying too hard. Leonard Shaw understood this truth one autumn afternoon. Seeking refuge from his own relentless ambitions, he found himself beneath an ancient oak tree. As he observed its quiet presence, something profound shifted within him. The oak neither pushed nor pulled at life. It simply was, rooted in unwavering trust. Season after season, it released its leaves without fear, knowing spring would return. It grew neither faster nor slower than its nature dictated, yet its presence commanded respect. This is the paradox at the heart of manifestation. The less you strain, the more naturally your desires flow to you. When you align with the calm certainty that pervades nature, you tap into a power far greater than forced action. The oak tree doesn't question whether it deserves to grow tall. It simply grows, anchored in silent confidence. Sacred practice. The magnet of stillness. Find a place of natural beauty, a park, a garden, or even a single plant. Sit quietly and observe its effortless existence. Feel how it draws in light, nutrients, and water without struggle. For 10 minutes, allow yourself to absorb this same quality of serene magnetism. Notice how your breath deepens, how your shoulders soften. In this space of calm certainty, sense how opportunities and abundance are naturally drawn to your steadied energy, just as iron filings align themselves with a magnet's field. Practice this daily, remembering that your power lies not in doing more, but in being more aligned with the natural flow of universal energy. Chapter 5. The Joy Frequency. Every force in the universe responds to authentic joy. Bessie Clark's path revealed this timeless truth as she struggled with an endless cycle of self-improvement. Each morning she would rise before dawn, reciting affirmations while examining her perceived flaws in the mirror. Her manifestation journal grew thick with crossed-out goals and revised intentions, yet abundance remained elusive. The universe speaks in frequencies, and joy resonates at the highest vibration. When you radiate genuine happiness, you need not announce your desires. They are already encoded in your energy field. This ancient wisdom teaches that joy itself is the doorway through which all manifestations enter. Bessie discovered this truth one spring morning when, exhausted from her rigid spiritual practices, she abandoned her usual routine. Instead, she walked to a nearby park and watched children playing. Their pure delight awakened something within her, a remembrance of what it felt like to exist without the burden of constant self-correction. In that moment, she understood. Joy is not a reward for perfection. It is the perfect state itself. The universe does not require you to fix yourself before blessing you. Your natural state of happiness is the magnet that draws all good things near. Consider the story of Oscar Bloom, who painted in his garden simply because colors made his heart sing. He mixed pigments with no thought of profit, humming as he captured the dance of light through leaves. Soon, passers-by began stopping to watch. Art collectors discovered him. Galleries sought his work. Yet Oscar had not changed his approach. He continued painting from that space of pure delight. His experience illuminates a fundamental truth. When you align with joy, you broadcast the frequency of abundance. Oscar's laughter, infused into every brushstroke, painted prosperity into being. He demonstrated that happiness is not the outcome of success. It is the magnetic force that draws success near. The law of attraction responds not to your words or actions, but to the energy signature you emanate. Joy is the purest form of this signature. It requires no elaboration, no explanation, no justification. When you vibrate at the frequency of joy, you naturally attract more experiences that match this vibration. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space and breathe deeply into your heart center. Recall a moment that fills you with genuine delight, perhaps the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight, or the embrace of a loved one. Allow this feeling to expand within you, becoming your dominant frequency. Carry this vibration with you throughout your day, letting it infuse every task and interaction. This is not forced positivity, but rather a return to your natural state of being. As you practice this, notice how life begins to mirror back the frequency of joy you emanate. Chapter 6. The Weight of Resistance. In the dance between resistance and flow lies a sacred truth known to the masters of old. What you fight against grows stronger, while what you embrace transforms. This wisdom echoes through the ages, carried in whispers from sage to student, now unveiled before you. Long ago, Mabel Kent stood at the crossroads of change, her hands gripping tightly to the familiar shores of her existence. Though her spirit yearned for expansion, fear kept her anchored to what she knew. With each passing season, her resistance to life's natural evolution cast longer shadows across her path. The weight of maintaining this resistance drained her vital energy, leaving her exhausted yet unable to rest. This mirrors an eternal truth. Energy must flow to create. When you resist life's current, you create a dam within your being, blocking the very force that seeks to lift you higher. Your resistance becomes the very prison you fear, holding you captive in stagnant waters while life's river flows freely around you. The universe operates through the law of least resistance. Like water finding its natural course, energy seeks the path of greatest ease. When you align with this principle, miracles unfold with surprising simplicity. The very act of resistance creates friction, burning precious energy that could otherwise fuel your transformation. George Brooks discovered this truth through an unexpected teacher, adversity itself. Where once he saw obstacles as enemies to be conquered, he learned to greet them as guides. With each challenge that arose, he chose blessing over battle. "I welcome this change," became his silent mantra, replacing the exhausting fight against what was. As if by magic, Though it was natural law at work, his problems began to dissolve. What appeared as setbacks revealed themselves as stepping stones. Doors he thought closed became gateways to greater opportunities. By blessing what arose, he transformed the energy of resistance into the power of acceptance. This ancient teaching reveals a profound secret. Your relationship with life's challenges determines their effect upon you. Resistance creates struggle, while acceptance opens the channel for transformation. Every obstacle carries within it the seeds of opportunity, waiting to bloom in the light of your acceptance. When you cease to fight against what is, energy previously spent in resistance becomes available for creation. This is not passive resignation, but active alignment with the flow of life. Like a sailor who understands the wind, you learn to work with the forces around you, rather than against them. The practice. Whenever you feel tension arising within, that familiar tightness of resistance, pause and take a conscious breath. As you exhale, repeat these words in your mind. I release the need to control. Let this phrase become a key that unlocks the chains of resistance. With each repetition, feel the internal knots of tension dissolving into lightness. This simple yet powerful practice realigns your energy with the natural flow of life, transforming resistance into receptivity. Chapter 7. The Invisible Orchestra. In the quietude of dawn, Annie Lowell watched a red cardinal land on her windowsill the very moment she thought of her departed grandmother, who had always loved these bright messengers. That same morning, a book fell from her shelf, opening to the exact passage she needed to read. Initially, she dismissed these moments as random chance, yet as she began paying attention, she discovered an invisible thread weaving through her days. The universe speaks in whispers of synchronicity. These moments of meaningful coincidence are not accidents, but the language of energy itself, dancing through the fabric of existence. When you attune yourself to this subtle dialogue, you begin to recognize that every moment carries potential significance. These synchronized events serve as guideposts, confirming that you walk in harmony with universal flow. They appear as repeated numbers, chance encounters, overheard conversations that answer unspoken questions, or doors that open precisely when needed. Each instance is a note in the grand symphony of existence, played by the unseen conductor of cosmic order. Everett Miles understood this truth when he abandoned his rigid business timeline to follow an unexpected invitation to a conference. There, he encountered the exact connections he had been struggling to forge for months. What appeared as a disruption to his careful plans became the very channel through which his success flowed. His willingness to dance with circumstance rather than fight it allowed him to step into the rhythm of natural timing. The wisdom lies in recognizing that life's flow carries its own perfect orchestration. Fighting this current creates discord, while moving with it brings harmony. When you trust the subtle promptings of intuition, when you follow the gentle nudges of circumstance, you align with this greater composition. Each coincidence offers a choice: to dismiss it as meaningless or to recognize it as communication from the infinite. Those who choose awareness discover that these moments multiply, creating a tapestry of guidance that cannot be explained by chance alone. The practice of sacred synchronicity. Begin keeping an awareness journal dedicated to meaningful coincidences. Each evening, record the moments that seem to speak directly to your path, the timely phone call, the perfect opportunity, the symbolic encounter. Express gratitude for these cosmic arrangements, acknowledging the invisible musicians who conduct your life's symphony. As you document these instances, you'll begin to recognize patterns in the seemingly random, discovering the golden thread that connects all moments in perfect harmony. Chapter 8. The Heart's Compass. The teachings of intuition whisper through the ages, carried on winds of wisdom that have guided countless souls before you. In the sacred scrolls of ancient traditions, it was known that your deepest knowing requires no proof. It simply is. Within you lies an inner compass, as natural as breath, as ancient as starlight. This compass speaks not in words, but in sensations, a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your step, an inexplicable sense of rightness that transcends logic. The universe communicates through this subtle language, offering guidance that your mind alone could never grasp. Consider Nora Blake, whose doubt shrouded her inner voice until she discovered a profound truth: that intuition is not separate from the universal flow, but rather its direct expression through you. As she learned to trust these gentle nudges, her path unfolded with grace, each step illuminated by an inner knowing that surpassed rational understanding. The law of attraction operates through the same channel of intuitive wisdom. When you align with your inner truth, you naturally attract experiences that resonate with your highest good. This is not mere coincidence, but the orchestration of universal energy responding to your deepest alignment. Edwin Watts's tale serves as both warning and inspiration. His initial resistance to inner guidance led him through shadowed valleys of difficulty. Yet when he finally surrendered to that quiet knowing, abundance flowed as naturally as water seeking its level. His transformation reveals an eternal truth. The heart's wisdom, when anchored in peace, outshines the brightest intellectual calculations. Your intuition is not some mystical gift bestowed upon a chosen few. It is your birthright, a natural capacity for direct knowing that grows stronger with trust and use. Like a muscle strengthening through exercise, your intuitive sense develops through conscious attention and practice. The ancient practice of inner attunement. Find a quiet moment during times of transition or decision. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your body's wisdom. Notice the subtle warmth that spreads through your chest when something resonates as true. This sensation is your inner compass pointing toward alignment. Begin with small choices: which path to walk, when to make a call, how to respond to a situation. Let this bodily wisdom guide these minor decisions. As trust develops, your intuitive sense will naturally expand to illuminate greater choices. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, awakens the dormant knowledge within you. The universe speaks in whispers of knowing, in gentle pulses of certainty that transcend the mind's endless calculations. Your task is simply to listen, to trust, and to follow where this ancient wisdom leads. Chapter 9. The Field Remembers. In a distant mountain village lived Lottie Price, who measured life through evidence rather than trust. Each morning she would scrutinize her ledger of deeds and returns, searching for proof that her actions bore fruit. "Show me first," she would whisper to the universe, "then I shall believe." The universal field, ancient and patient, held secrets Lottie had yet to understand. Like an infinite garden, It preserved every emotional seed planted within its soil. Each thought, each feeling, each moment of kindness or doubt took root in this ethereal earth, growing in its own sacred timing. Your energy creates ripples that extend far beyond the moment of their birth. When you cast a stone of intention into the waters of existence, its waves continue long after the surface appears still. This truth reveals itself through countless lives, including that of Henry Tate, a humble merchant who once shared his bread with strangers without expectation of return. Years passed, and Henry had forgotten those small acts of generosity. Yet the universe remembered. During his darkest hour, when his business faced ruin, unexpected allies emerged from the shadows of his past. Those he had helped, now prosperous, appeared with opportunities that transformed his fate. The seeds he had planted bloomed precisely when he needed their fruit most. This principle operates with mathematical precision. Every vibration you release must complete its journey. There are no lost signals in the universal field. Your frequency of love, hope, or generosity continues its work, even when your conscious mind has moved on. Like a farmer who plants in spring and harvests in autumn, the timing of return follows natural law rather than human expectation. You need not track every positive thought or deed, for the universe maintains perfect accounts. The energy you release today creates tomorrow's reality with unwavering accuracy. This truth eliminates the need for proof before faith, as the evidence exists in the very fabric of existence. Sacred practice. Settle into a quiet space and close your eyes. Journey back through the corridors of memory to moments of kindness you once offered freely. Feel the warmth of those actions as though they were happening now. Recognize that these vibrations continue their dance through time, weaving patterns of blessing that connect your past self to your present becoming. Let this recognition dissolve any need for immediate proof, understanding that your good works ripen in their perfect season. Chapter 10. The Effortless Hand. In the shade of an ancient olive grove, Pearl Abbott knelt day after day, her prayers rising like incense toward heaven. With clasped hands and tear-stained cheeks, she beseeched the universe to lift the weight of her burdens. Yet her circumstances remained unchanged, heavy as stone upon her shoulders. Through the whispers of time, a truth emerged, one that would transform her understanding forever. The universe responds not to desperate pleas, but to unwavering faith. When you stand in certainty, reality bends to meet your conviction. Pearl's revelation came not in a thunderous moment, but in the gentle understanding that her very act of begging created resistance to receiving. The law of creation operates through alignment, not through struggle. Think of a flower reaching toward sunlight. It doesn't strain or force its growth. It simply turns its face to warmth and allows nature's wisdom to unfold through its being. This is the secret that the ages have preserved. Control manifests not through dominance, but through harmonious partnership with universal energy. Nelson Todd's story mirrors this eternal principle. Burdened by financial strain, he had spent years in anxious calculation, his nights filled with worried planning. One morning, he woke to a profound inner shift. Instead of wrestling with his fears, he chose to rest in deep knowing that abundance was his natural state. He began moving through his days as though prosperity already embraced him. Within a season, opportunities appeared as naturally as leaves sprouting on spring branches. A forgotten investment matured beyond expectation. A chance encounter led to a prosperous partnership. His business flourished with an ease that seemed magical to others, but felt perfectly natural to Nelson. He had discovered that the universe operates through joy, not through strain. You hold this same power within you. Every morning presents an opportunity to align with the effortless flow of creation. The field of infinite possibility responds not to your efforts, but to your state of being. When gratitude replaces anxiety, when trust supersedes control, you enter the natural rhythm of manifestation. Begin each day by affirming, "Energy works through ease." Let this truth infuse your movements, your thoughts, your very breath. Move as though invisible hands guide you toward your highest good. Feel the lightness of knowing that the universe conspires in your favor. Watch as doors open without pushing, as opportunities arise without strain, as blessings multiply through the simple act of trusting in their appearance. This is the dance of effortlessness, the sacred choreography of creation itself. Practice. Each morning upon waking, speak these words with serene conviction. Energy works through ease. Then, throughout your day, move as though divine assurance guides your every step. Let your actions flow from grace rather than effort, from trust rather than force. Notice how life responds to this subtle shift, as though the universe itself sighs in relief at your surrender to its natural flow. Part 2. The Geometry of Emotion. Chapter 11. The Shape of Desire. In a garden filled with untended roses, Flora Ames paced restlessly between thorny branches, her desires burning like fever in her blood. With each step, she yearned more intensely for what she lacked, unaware that this very craving warped the energetic field around her. The more desperately she reached, the more life seemed to withdraw its gifts. The ancient wisdom whispers of a deeper truth. Desire exists as sacred geometry in the universal field. Your feelings carve invisible channels through which reality must flow. When you shape these pathways with longing, you create a template of absence. But when you mold them with serene satisfaction, you fashion a matrix for abundance. Like a river flowing through the contours of earth, manifestation follows the emotional landscape you create. Each feeling becomes a curve, each belief a boundary, each expectation a direction. This is why two people can plant identical seeds, yet harvest vastly different gardens. Their inner geometries shape distinct realities. Ralph Hines discovered this truth in the quiet hours before dawn. For years, his desires had felt like hungry ghosts, always demanding more, yet never satisfied. One morning, watching sunrise paint the sky, he understood. Instead of yearning for success, he began to feel its presence wrapping around him like a warm cloak. Rather than chase fulfillment, he allowed satisfaction to permeate his being. The shift was subtle, yet profound. As Ralph learned to sculpt his emotional energy into shapes of contentment rather than craving, his external world began to mirror this inner architecture. Business opportunities aligned with effortless precision. Relationships deepened with natural grace. Resources appeared as though drawn by an invisible magnet. His experience illuminates the core principle. Emotion shapes experience more powerfully than thought. Your feelings are not merely responses to reality. They are the architects of it. When you craft your emotional state with conscious intention, you create sacred geometries through which abundance naturally flows. This wisdom extends beyond mere positive thinking. It invites you to become an artist of energy, molding your feelings with the same care a sculptor shapes clay. Each moment offers an opportunity to refine this sacred geometry, to align your emotional blueprint with the reality you wish to manifest. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. When your being resonates with fulfillment, life must conform to match this frequency. This is the law of energetic correspondence, as ancient as the stars, yet as immediate as your next breath. Practice. Settle into a space of quiet receptivity. Visualize your desire as already present, not as a future possibility, but as a current reality. Feel its shape surrounding you with each breath. Let satisfaction flow through your body, sculpting the energetic field around you. Maintain this state of peaceful completion, knowing that reality must align with the geometric patterns your emotions create. Allow this feeling to persist without strain or effort, trusting in the precise architecture of manifestation. Chapter 12. The Neutral Flame. In an attic filled with ancient texts and scrolls, Opal Ross burned countless candles searching for spiritual truth. Night after night she pored over esoteric manuscripts with fevered intensity, convinced that if she sought hard enough, wisdom would yield to her determination. Yet the harder she pushed, the more exhausted she became, until her inner fire dimmed to barely glowing embers. The eternal wisdom teaches us that the strongest flame burns neither too hot nor too cold. Like the unwavering light of a perfectly trimmed lamp, true power emanates from the center point between extremes. Passion may ignite the spiritual journey, but it is equilibrium that sustains the sacred fire. When you approach life with balanced emotion, you create a stable field through which the universe can consistently express. Think of a candle flame. When sheltered from extremes, it casts an even, steady light. So too does measured emotion illuminate the path of manifestation with reliable clarity. This truth reveals itself in the story of Albert Lane, who once rode the turbulent waves of emotional highs and lows. His manifestations would appear and vanish like shooting stars, bright but fleeting. Everything changed when he discovered the power of equanimity. Rather than chase ecstatic states or resist difficult feelings, he learned to maintain an inner steadiness, a quiet flame that burned regardless of external conditions. As Albert cultivated this balanced state, he noticed something remarkable. Life began responding to his steady signal with consistent precision. Opportunities arose naturally, challenges resolved smoothly, and blessings flowed with predictable grace. His peace became a stable foundation from which lasting miracles emerged effortlessly. The universal field responds most powerfully to sustained frequencies rather than sporadic bursts. When your emotional state remains balanced, neither grasping nor pushing away, you establish a clear channel through which divine energy can flow unimpeded. Like a well-tuned instrument maintaining perfect pitch, your balanced vibration allows the universe to play through you with harmonic precision. This teaching transcends the common misconception that manifestation requires intense focus or burning desire. Instead, It reveals that the most potent creative force stems from poised awareness, the middle path between attachment and aversion. This is the art of holding space for your desires while remaining unattached to their specific form or timing. Practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Begin to cultivate an inner warmth, like a steady flame protected from all drafts. Neither stoke this flame with excessive passion, nor dampen it with doubt. Simply maintain its even glow, feeling how this balanced state illuminates your being with consistent radiance. Let this measured energy become your natural frequency, trusting that the universe responds most reliably to steady signals. Rest in this equilibrium, knowing that balanced emotion creates balanced manifestation. Chapter 13. The Language of Feeling. Ruby Cross spent countless hours reciting affirmations, her voice mechanically repeating phrases about abundance and success. Yet her circumstances remained unchanged, like seeds scattered on barren soil. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds not to the words themselves, but to the energetic signature beneath them. The ancient teaching whispers that manifestation flows through feeling, not vocabulary. When you speak to the universe, it measures the depth of your emotion, not the elegance of your expression. Your energy creates a resonance that ripples through the fabric of existence, carrying your true message far beyond what mere words could convey. Earl Boyd discovered this truth during his darkest hour. Having lost his business, he stopped forcing hollow declarations of prosperity. Instead, he began singing simple songs of thanks while tending his small garden. His melodies carried genuine appreciation for the morning sun, the fertile earth, and each precious breath. Within months, unexpected opportunities bloomed in his life like spring flowers after winter's retreat. His music store reopened in a better location, drawing twice the customers. The universe had heard not his words, but the authentic joy vibrating through his voice. This revelation unlocks a profound understanding. The language of creation is pure feeling. When your heart truly rings with gratitude, even silence becomes a powerful prayer. The universe recognizes genuine emotion as clearly as you distinguish between authentic laughter and forced politeness. Your inner state broadcasts continuously, like a radio signal that never ceases. Consider how easily you detect insincerity in others. The universe possesses this same discernment, but infinitely more refined. It reads the truth of your vibration beyond any masks of carefully chosen words. This is why some speak endlessly of positive thinking, yet remain unchanged, while others transform their reality through quiet, heartfelt appreciation. Sacred practice. Find a private space and speak 3 simple words of gratitude. Rather than rushing through a list of affirmations, let each word rise from your heart's depths. Feel the warmth of genuine thankfulness as you speak. Notice how authentic emotion naturally shapes your tone, facial expression, and even your posture. This is your energy speaking its truth. Practice this daily, allowing silence between words to be as rich with feeling as the words themselves. Remember, one sincere thank you carries more creative power than 1,000 empty affirmations. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Gravity of Expectation. In a small village among rolling hills, Louise Drake spent her days questioning her own abilities. Each morning she would gaze into the mirror, her reflection echoing back the doubt that clouded her heart. As surely as water flows downhill, her uncertainty attracted circumstances that validated her fears. Time and again, opportunities slipped through her fingers like grains of sand, each loss reinforcing her belief in her own unworthiness. The universe operates through an ancient and unwavering principle. Your emotional expectation acts as an invisible force, drawing to you experiences that match its vibration. Just as the moon pulls the tides, your deepest feelings pull corresponding realities into your sphere. This gravitational force of emotion shapes the very fabric of your existence. When you understand this truth, you recognize that your feelings are not mere responses to life. They are the architects of your tomorrow. Each sentiment you harbor becomes a magnetic pole, attracting circumstances that resonate with its frequency. Your emotional expectation is the blueprint from which the universe builds your reality. Vernon Dale's transformation illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. For years, he approached each day anticipating struggle, and life faithfully delivered challenges to his doorstep. But one autumn morning, something within him shifted. Perhaps it was the way sunlight painted the clouds in gold, or how the wind carried promises of change. Whatever the catalyst, Vernon chose to expect delight instead of difficulty. At first, the change was subtle: a stranger's smile, an unexpected compliment, a letter bearing good news. Yet as he maintained his new emotional orientation, these small blessings multiplied. Business opportunities emerged from unlikely sources. Relationships blossomed with surprising ease. Even his garden seemed to bloom more vibrantly, as if nature itself responded to his renewed spirit. Vernon's story reveals that expectation is not merely hoping or wishing. It is a powerful force that shapes the very trajectory of your path. When you shift your emotional center from doubt to certainty, from worry to wonder, the universe rearranges itself to mirror your new frequency. Practice. Sacred morning attunement. As each new day dawns, take a moment before rising from your bed. Feel the softness of morning light touching your face. With eyes still closed, allow yourself to expect something wonderful, not with forced enthusiasm, but with the natural ease of knowing that the sun will rise. Let this quiet optimism settle into your bones, becoming as natural as breathing. Throughout your day, whenever you notice doubt creeping in, gently return to this morning feeling of casual wonder. Remember, you're not trying to manufacture positivity. You're simply aligning with the natural flow of grace that surrounds you always. Chapter 15. The Sacred Pause. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Minnie Ward darted from stall to stall, grasping at opportunities yet finding her hands strangely empty. Her movements, though swift, yielded little fruit. Each rushed decision became a lesson in the cost of haste, until exhaustion forced her to rest beside an ancient well. The universe speaks in the language of timing, a sacred rhythm that flows beneath the surface of all creation. This eternal dance requires not the swift step of ambition, but the graceful pause of wisdom. When you rush past life's natural pace, you move against the current of manifestation, creating resistance where alignment seeks to flourish. Between every thought lies a sacred space, a moment of pure potential where the seeds of creation take root. This space is not empty. It brims with the invisible force that shapes all possibilities. Like the pause between breaths, it holds the power of transformation. In these moments of stillness, the universe aligns circumstances with pristine precision. Harold Stone discovered this truth during a crucial business negotiation. Where once he would have rushed to fill silence with words, he allowed a thoughtful pause to settle between himself and his potential partner. In that pregnant moment, wisdom arose unbidden. The words that followed carried such authenticity that they forged a partnership far exceeding his original vision. His patience had opened a door that haste would have sealed forever. This mystery of timing reveals itself in nature's quiet certainty. Observe how a flower unfolds according to its own rhythm, neither hurrying toward bloom nor resisting its season. Each petal opens in perfect synchronicity with the sun, the soil, and the rain. Your manifestations seek this same natural grace. The space between your thoughts holds similar power. When you honor these intervals, you align with the universe's natural orchestration. Each pause becomes a moment of communion with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all outcomes. Through stillness, you allow the cosmic dance to move through you rather than forcing your way through life. Ancient practice. Before each significant action today, pause for 3 conscious breaths. Feel the space between your thoughts expand. Let your next move arise not from urgency, but from the quiet certainty that wells up in stillness. Watch how the universe responds when you align with its timing rather than imposing your own. This practice reveals that waiting is not passive delay, but active participation in the perfect unfolding of your path. Chapter 16. The Spiral of Giving. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, a weaver named Cora Ellis sat among her unsold tapestries, her spirit as threadbare as her hopes. Day after day, she clutched her creations close, fearing that letting them go would leave her with nothing. Yet the tighter she held on, the more her energy waned, until even the act of threading her loom became a burden. The universe operates through continuous flow, like a river that must both give and receive to maintain its vitality. When you dam its current, stagnation follows. This eternal truth reveals itself in every aspect of creation, from the breath that must be exhaled to make room for fresh air, to the trees that release their leaves to welcome new growth. Cora's transformation began when she gifted one of her finest pieces to an elderly woman who had admired it daily but could never afford to buy it. The joy in the woman's eyes sparked something within Cora, a warmth that spread through her chest and filled her with unexpected lightness. That evening she found herself weaving with renewed vigor, her creativity flowing more freely than ever before. The law of circulation teaches that energy must move to remain vital. When you give with an open heart, you become a channel through which universal abundance flows. The act of giving aligns you with the natural rhythm of life itself, which knows neither hoarding nor lack, but only continuous exchange. This truth manifested clearly in the life of Marvin Cole, a merchant who had grown weary of counting coins. One day, he began offering his undivided attention to every person who entered his shop, regardless of whether they made a purchase. He listened to their stories, shared in their joys and sorrows, and offered genuine connection instead of mere transaction. Within months, his shop became a gathering place for the community, and prosperity followed naturally, not through calculation, but through the authentic flow of energy he had initiated. Your prosperity is not measured by what you keep, but by what flows through you. When you give freely, whether it be attention, kindness, or material offerings, you declare your trust in life's abundance. This trust becomes a magnetic force, drawing to you experiences that mirror your generosity. The wisdom of circulation exists in the beating of your own heart, which must both contract and expand to sustain life. It pulses in the rhythm of the seasons, in the exchange between ocean and sky, in every pattern of nature that speaks of giving and receiving as one unified movement. Sacred practice. Choose one act of unexpected kindness today. It need not involve money or possessions. Perhaps share your time, your attention, or your skills. Perform this act without any thought of return, without leaving your name, without seeking recognition. As you give, feel the energy moving through you, sense its lightness, its freedom. Notice how this selfless giving creates space within you for fresh energy to enter. Let this practice remind you that you are part of life's endless circle of giving and receiving. Chapter 17. The Echo of Thought. In a small mountain village, Effie Burns tended her modest garden each morning. Day after day, she imagined the withered plants transforming into a flourishing paradise, while others rushed to quick solutions with chemical fertilizers and aggressive pruning. She simply held her vision steady, speaking softly to each bloom as if it already displayed the vitality she saw in her mind. The universal law whispers that persistent vibration creates more lasting change than sporadic intensity. Like water shaping stone, it is not the force, but the faithful repetition that transforms reality. Effie's garden responded not to her actions, but to her unwavering emotional frequency of abundance. Within months, visitors traveled from distant towns to witness her extraordinary blooms, though she had done nothing but maintain her inner vision with patience. This truth extends beyond gardens to every aspect of existence. Each thought you hold repeatedly becomes a note in the symphony of your reality. When you sustain a single pure tone of positive expectation, the universe has no choice but to harmonize with your song. The power lies not in the volume of your desire, but in its constancy. Clyde Pope discovered this principle while rebuilding his life after losing everything in a market crash. Instead of frantically pursuing opportunities, he devoted himself to maintaining an inner state of prosperity. Each morning before dawn, he would sit in his modest apartment and feel the essence of abundance flowing through him. He refused to let external circumstances disturb his inner wealth. Weeks passed, and subtle shifts began appearing, a chance meeting here, an unexpected referral there. His calm certainty created a resonance that attracted corresponding experiences. Within a year, his financial reality had completely transformed, though he had changed nothing except his consistent internal vibration. The law operates with mathematical precision. Sustained focus builds energetic momentum. Like a tuning fork that causes other objects to vibrate at its frequency, your persistent vision creates ripples in the field of infinite possibility. These ripples eventually return as physical manifestation. Ancient practice of resonant vision. Find a quiet space at the same time each day. Close your eyes and summon a single image that represents your deepest aspiration. Feel the joy of its fulfillment as if already accomplished. Let this vision become more real than any current limitation. Hold this focus until your entire being hums with its frequency. Return to this same image daily, allowing its resonance to grow stronger than any past doubt. Through faithful practice, Watch as your sustained vibration echoes into form, proving that consistency in consciousness shapes the clay of reality. Chapter 18. The Golden Thread. In a small coastal village, Sylvia Pratt stood at her window each morning, questioning every turn her life had taken. Each setback felt like a step away from her dreams, until the day she noticed seabirds weaving intricate patterns in their flight. Their seemingly random movements created perfect geometric designs in the sky, awakening her to a profound truth. The universe speaks in patterns. What appears as chaos from ground level reveals its order when viewed from a higher perspective. Every experience, every apparent misstep, forms part of an elegant design, a sacred geometry of personal evolution. Through generations, mystics and sages have understood that life moves not in straight lines, but in spirals of meaning. Each event echoes through time, creating ripples that shape our destiny in ways our limited perception cannot grasp. The ancient wisdom teaches us that nothing occurs by chance. All is woven into a tapestry of purpose. Morton Sears discovered this truth after losing his inheritance. Initially devastated, he began noticing how each closed door had guided him toward unexpected opportunities. The business partner who betrayed him led him to discover his true calling. The failed venture taught him invaluable lessons he later used to build something far greater. What seemed like misfortune had been preparation for triumph. When you align with this knowledge, life's seeming accidents reveal themselves as carefully placed stepping stones. The universe operates through perfect orchestration. Every challenge carries a gift. Every delay holds divine timing. Every loss creates space for greater gain. The law of purpose states that energy flows according to higher design. By trusting this design, you enter a state of grace where synchronicity replaces struggle. Your task is not to force outcomes, but to discern the golden thread of meaning woven through your experiences. This truth liberates you from the burden of needing to control every detail. The larger pattern is already in motion, guiding you toward your highest good. As you recognize this, resistance dissolves into acceptance, anxiety into trust. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Choose a past challenge that once felt like misfortune. Trace its effects through your life, noting how it shaped your growth, developed your wisdom, or redirected your path. Feel gratitude for its hidden blessings. Write down 3 ways this experience served your evolution. Continue this practice daily, watching as life's scattered threads reveal their perfect design. Chapter 19. The Portal of Appreciation. In a small village among rolling hills, Viola Reese spent years searching for complex rituals and sacred ceremonies to elevate her spiritual practice. She collected crystals, studied ancient texts, and performed elaborate meditations, yet transformation eluded her. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, she paused to notice its warmth on her skin. In that simple moment of appreciation, something shifted. Her entire being lifted into a state of grace more powerful than any ritual had ever achieved. The universal law whispers this truth. Appreciation instantly attunes your frequency to the highest vibrations of creation. When you genuinely feel grateful, you activate the same creative force that spins planets and ignites stars. This power requires no ceremony, no special tools, and no esoteric knowledge. It asks only for your heartfelt recognition of life's constant gifts. Gordon Pratt discovered this wisdom through adversity. After losing his business, health, and savings, he began each day by acknowledging one small blessing: the taste of morning coffee, the sound of birds, the kindness of strangers. As he cultivated this practice, something remarkable occurred. The very circumstances that had caused him pain began to soften and transform. Opportunities appeared, health returned, and abundance flowed, not through struggle, but through the magnetic power of his appreciation. This revealed the deeper teaching. Gratitude is not merely a response to good fortune. It is the very frequency that attracts it. When you appreciate, you activate the law of resonance. Like attracts like. The vibration of genuine thankfulness calls forth experiences that match its frequency. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you radiate. Each moment of appreciation raises your energetic signature closer to the natural state of abundance that surrounds you. This is why the simplest appreciation can trigger profound transformation. It aligns you with the fundamental frequency of creation itself. Take this ancient practice into your daily life. As you move through each moment, inhale thankfulness for the ordinary miracles that surround you. Let appreciation become your natural response to life. Feel gratitude for the breath in your lungs, the ground beneath your feet, the infinite possibilities that each new day brings. Make this your doorway, and watch as the universe mirrors your appreciation with ever-expanding blessings. Practice. Each morning and evening, sit quietly and breathe in the energy of gratitude. Begin with the simplest things: the air you breathe, the beating of your heart, the gift of consciousness itself. Let appreciation flow through you until it becomes your default state, your constant companion, your doorway to every miracle. Chapter 20. The Energy Signature. In the soft glow of dawn, Esther White discovered a truth as ancient as time itself. Each morning brought its own energy, and she observed how the world seemed to arrange itself around her predominant feeling. When she woke with gratitude, blessings multiplied. When anxiety clouded her morning, challenges appeared in swift succession. The universe speaks in the language of vibration. Every thought, every emotion emanates outward like ripples on a still pond, touching all that surrounds us. Your emotional frequency becomes your spiritual signature, broadcasting continuously to the vast field of infinite possibility. This signature vibration acts as an invisible architect, sculpting circumstances and encounters to match its pattern. Just as a tuning fork causes another of the same frequency to resonate in harmony, your emotional tone draws corresponding experiences into manifestation. Walter Brown understood this principle when his business faced imminent collapse. Instead of surrendering to fear, he chose to embody the calm confidence of success each morning before opening his eyes. He felt the sensation of prosperity in his body, allowing it to permeate every cell until it became his natural state. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities emerged, aligning perfectly with his new vibrational signature. The teaching reveals that identity is not fixed by past experiences or current circumstances. Rather, it is maintained moment by moment through the feelings you choose to cultivate. Memory may tell you who you were, but emotion declares who you are becoming. This is why two people can face identical situations yet create vastly different outcomes. Their signature frequencies interpret and shape reality differently. Your vibration acts as a filter through which you perceive and interact with the world. It determines which possibilities become probable, which opportunities become visible. When you shift your emotional baseline, you alter the very fabric of your reality. The key lies not in forcing change through willpower, but in becoming the energy you wish to attract. If you seek abundance, radiate generosity. If you desire love, emanate appreciation. If you pursue success, embody excellence. The outer world has no choice but to reflect your inner frequency. Practice. Begin each morning by consciously choosing your vibrational signature for the day. Before engaging with the world, sit quietly and fully inhabit the feeling state you wish to manifest. Let it fill your being until it becomes as natural as breathing. Move through your day from this chosen frequency, maintaining it as your base note regardless of external circumstances. Watch as life begins to mirror your new energetic signature. Part 3. The Effortless Mastery. Chapter 21. The Silent Command. In a bustling marketplace, Della Grant watched a master craftsman shape clay with barely a touch. His fingers moved with such subtle grace that the vessel seemed to form itself. For years, she had struggled to manifest her desires through forceful declarations and rigid affirmations. Yet here, in this moment of witnessing, she understood a truth that would transform her approach to creation. The universe responds not to the volume of our requests, but to the depth of our certainty. Like the craftsman's gentle guidance, true manifestation flows from a place of quiet knowing. When Della released her grip on how things should unfold, she discovered that silence carried an authority that words could never match. Within this sacred silence lies the seed of all creation. It is the space where intention meets surrender, where desire dissolves into trust. The louder we proclaim our wishes, the more we signal doubt in their fulfillment. But in stillness, our energy speaks with crystal clarity to the universal field. Frank Monroe embodied this wisdom during a period of profound business transformation. Rather than constantly reviewing his goals or repeatedly voicing his intentions, he chose to sit in peaceful certainty each morning. He would visualize his success once with perfect clarity, then release all mental chatter about its arrival. He learned to trust that the universe had heard his silent signal. As days passed, remarkable shifts began occurring without his intervention. New opportunities appeared effortlessly. Perfect partnerships formed spontaneously. Resources aligned as if guided by an invisible hand. By releasing the mental noise of how and when, Frank allowed the natural intelligence of the universe to orchestrate his success. The teaching reveals that the cosmos already knows your deepest desires. Every atom of creation vibrates in response to your genuine belief. When you quiet the mind's constant commentary, you allow this natural harmony to emerge. Like a pond settling after a storm, clarity arises in stillness. Think of how a flower blooms, without announcement, without strain. It simply unfolds in perfect timing, responding to unseen forces that guide its growth. Your manifestations can flow with this same natural grace when you learn to trust in silent certainty rather than loud declaration. Ancient practice. Find a peaceful space where you can remain undisturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and allow your breath to become soft and regular. Visualize your desired outcome with crystal clarity, feeling its reality in every cell of your body. Then, consciously release all mental chatter about its manifestation. Sit in this gentle silence, knowing that your quiet confidence carries more power than any spoken word. Feel success responding to your serene certainty, as if the very air around you vibrates with your unspoken truth. Maintain this practice daily, allowing your silent command to ripple through the universal field with unwavering faith. Chapter 22. The Radiance Within. In the depths of silence lies a power greater than any spoken command. When you cease striving to prove your worth to the world, an ancient magic awakens. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you silently know to be true. Lena Boyd walked the path many have traveled before, seeking validation in the echoing halls of others' opinions. Each achievement brought momentary peace, yet left her thirsting for more approval. Through countless accolades and disappointments, she finally stumbled upon the timeless truth. The light within needs no external flame to burn brighter. The wisdom whispers that self-love is not a destination, but a frequency, one that naturally attracts all that resonates with your highest good. When you stand firmly in your own light, the universe conspires to mirror that radiance back to you. This is not pride, but rather the humble recognition of the divine spark that dwells within all beings. Glenn Scott's journey illuminates this principle with striking clarity. For years, he chased recognition in his field, adapting himself to others' expectations. His work, though technically perfect, lacked the spark that turns craft into art. The shift came not through additional skills or connections, but through a profound inner acceptance. The moment Glenn began honoring his inherent worth, his energy transformed. He no longer created to prove himself, but to express the abundance already flowing through him. Clients who once seemed out of reach began appearing at his door, drawn not by his credentials, but by the authentic power he now emanated. This mirrors an eternal truth. External success flows naturally from internal certainty. The universe responds not to what you do, but to who you are being. When you release the need for validation, you activate a magnetic force that draws opportunities aligned with your true nature. The sacred texts speak of this as the law of radiance, the principle that light attracts light. Just as a candle needs no permission to shine, your inner brilliance requires no external approval to transform your reality. The moment you fully embrace your own worth, the outer world rearranges itself to match your inner knowing. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Place your hand over your heart and breathe deeply. With each breath, silently affirm, I am complete. I am sufficient. I am divine energy expressing itself. Let this truth sink into every cell until you feel it resonating through your being. Allow your natural radiance to shine outward, knowing it serves as a magnetic force drawing grace into your life. Practice this each morning until self-approval becomes your natural state of being. Chapter 23. The Dance of Allowance. In the depths of winter, Irene Webb meticulously planned each hour, believing control would bring her closer to her dreams. Her calendar overflowed with schedules, her desk scattered with lists, each moment mapped with precision. Yet, the more she tried to orchestrate circumstances, the more life seemed to spin away from her carefully laid plans. The ancient wisdom speaks of a rhythm far more graceful than our calculated steps. When we release our grip on outcomes, we discover that the universe moves with an intelligence beyond our limited understanding. Just as leaves dance perfectly in the wind without rehearsal, Our paths unfold with natural grace when we trust the unseen choreographer. This truth reveals itself through the eternal principle. Life flows not through force, but through freedom. The universe responds not to rigid demands, but to the supple spirit of allowance. When you cease trying to conduct every measure of existence, you become aware of a melody that has always been playing, the song of synchronicity that moves through all things. Claude Walsh discovered this truth in the midst of his greatest setback. After 20 years of rigid business planning, his company faced an unexpected crisis. His carefully constructed timeline crumbled, leaving him adrift in uncertainty. Yet in that space of surrender, something remarkable occurred. Without his relentless orchestration, opportunities began appearing in perfect sequence. Partnerships formed organically, solutions emerged effortlessly, and success flowed with a harmony he could never have engineered. His story mirrors an ageless understanding. The dance of manifestation requires no rehearsal. Just as birds need not study migration patterns and flowers need not learn how to bloom, your path unfolds with natural precision when you align with the spontaneous wisdom of the universe. This alignment comes not through control, but through trust. It emerges not from forcing, but from flowing. When you release the need to choreograph every step, you discover that life has been waiting to lead you in a dance far more beautiful than anything you could have planned. The universe moves with perfect timing, orchestrating circumstances with a grace that surpasses human scheduling. Your role is not to direct, but to follow, not to push, but to allow, not to demand, but to dance. Sacred practice. When your plans begin to tangle, pause and take a deep breath. Let a gentle laugh bubble up from your center, releasing tension. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a leaf in the wind, moving effortlessly with divine timing. Feel the cosmic rhythm flowing through you, guiding your steps with playful wisdom. Allow yourself to be led by this sacred dance, trusting that each unexpected turn leads to greater joy than your original path could have provided. Let delight become your compass, spontaneity your teacher, and trust your partner in this eternal dance of creation. Chapter 24. The Bridge of Faith. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Doris Tate watched merchants exchange gold coins for spices, each transaction grounded in visible worth. Yet her own journey taught her that the most valuable exchanges happen in realms unseen. For years, she collected proof before taking action, requiring guarantees before movement. This changed the day her daughter fell ill, and no visible remedy remained. Standing at the edge of conventional wisdom, Doris faced a choice between tried methods that had failed and an unconventional healer who worked through energy alone. With trembling hands but steady heart, she chose trust over testimony. Her daughter recovered within days, awakening Doris to the power of unseen forces that support those who dare to believe. The universe operates through invisible bridges of faith, each step strengthened not by physical matter, but by unwavering attention. These bridges materialize beneath our feet only as we walk forward, never before. The ancient wisdom whispers that faith is not blind hope, but rather clear vision of what exists beyond physical sight. Kenneth Lyle understood this principle when he left his secure position to pursue an inner calling. Without savings or certainty, He stepped into the unknown each morning, treating empty space as solid ground. Where others saw void, he recognized opportunity. His calendar filled with perfect alignments, resources appeared at precise moments, and doors opened as if guided by an unseen hand. This power of faith flows not from desperate wishing but from calm knowing. It requires no strain, no force, no pleading with the universe. Instead, it asks only for your sustained attention to what could be, rather than what seems to be. The bridge builds itself beneath those who walk with certainty. Think of faith as the invisible architecture of manifestation. Each thought of trust lays another plank. Each moment of confidence adds another support beam. The structure strengthens not through effort, but through consistent attention to possibility. When we release our grip on needing to see every step before taking it, we activate the law of spiritual support. The universe rushes to meet those who trust its presence. This is not reckless abandon, but rather sublime confidence in the orchestration of unseen forces. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Envision yourself at the edge of what you know, facing the direction of your deepest desires. Picture a bridge of pure light extending from where you stand toward your dreams. Though you cannot see the entire span, know it exists completely. Take 3 deep breaths and begin to walk this bridge in your mind. With each step, whisper, "The path appears beneath my feet." Feel the solid support of universal energy rising to meet each footfall. Continue this visualization until you sense absolute certainty in the invisible structure beneath you. This practice builds neural pathways of trust, training your energy to align with the natural support always available but rarely perceived. Return to this bridge daily, remembering that faith is not the absence of evidence, but rather the evidence of things unseen. Chapter 25. The Symphony of Action. In the quiet hills beyond the city, Ida Moore spent countless hours in meditation, believing that spiritual advancement required perfect stillness. Day after day she sat motionless, waiting for manifestation to find her. Yet her dreams remained distant stars, twinkling but never drawing closer. The ancient wisdom teaches us that energy, like water, must flow. While stillness creates the vessel, movement fills it with life. The universe responds not to passive waiting, but to inspired action born of inner alignment. When you tune your movements to the frequency of your desires, you dance with the cosmos itself. Warren Cobb discovered this truth in his garden. For years he had followed strict schedules for planting and tending, forcing nature to bend to his timeline. His harvest was meager, his joy even less so. Then one morning, he felt an inexplicable urge to plant seeds despite the almanac suggesting otherwise. Following this inner prompting, he discovered a natural rhythm that transformed his garden into an abundant paradise. His story illuminates a fundamental truth. Action, when guided by spiritual alignment, becomes effortless. The key lies not in constant motion, nor in complete stillness, but in the sacred dance between the two. Like a leaf carried by the wind, your movements become an extension of universal flow. The secret lies in recognizing that energy speaks through enthusiasm. When your heart lifts at the thought of an action, when your spirit feels light and eager, the universe is extending an invitation. These moments of inspiration are cosmic choreography, guiding you to move in harmony with divine timing. Think of yourself as an instrument in the universal orchestra. You need not create the music. Merely attune yourself to play your part when the conductor signals. This is the art of inspired action, moving not from obligation or anxiety, but from a place of joyful alignment. Sacred practice. Begin each morning in quiet receptivity. As you move through your day, notice moments when enthusiasm naturally arises. These are your cues for action. When you feel weighted or resistant, pause and return to stillness. Keep a small journal of when you felt most energetically aligned during action. Practice distinguishing between forced movement and inspired flow. Let joy be your compass, pointing the way to effortless manifestation. Chapter 26. The Open Hand. In a sun-dappled garden, Beatrice Hall sat with dreams clenched in her fists like precious gems she feared might slip away. For years she had gripped her ambition so fiercely that her hands grew weary, her spirit exhausted from the constant strain of holding on. The universe whispers its wisdom through such moments of tension, showing us that what we grasp too tightly cannot breathe, cannot grow, cannot manifest. The sacred truth emerges. Manifestation flows not through clenched fists, but through open palms. When you release your grip on outcomes, you create space for the universe to place its gifts within your hands. This ancient wisdom teaches that receiving requires emptiness. A vessel must first be hollow to be filled. Chester Lane discovered this truth in the quiet hours of dawn when he finally surrendered his desperate hold on success. For decades, he had pursued wealth with the intensity of a hunter chasing prey, only to find it forever beyond his reach. The day he relaxed his grip on need, choosing instead to trust in divine timing, abundance began flowing into his life with effortless grace. His business flourished not through force, but through allowing. His relationships deepened not through control, but through acceptance. The universe responds not to demand, but to invitation. Like a delicate butterfly, abundance alights most readily on the gentlest of surfaces. When you squeeze too hard, you crush the very blessings trying to land in your life. This is the paradox of manifestation. The less you clutch at what you desire, the more freely it flows toward you. Your role in creation is not to force, but to allow, not to demand, but to welcome. Think of how a flower blooms. It doesn't strain or struggle, it simply opens to receive the light. This is nature's demonstration of the law of receptivity. The blossom that forces itself open withers, while the one that unfolds naturally thrives. This wisdom teaches us that true ownership comes through release. When you hold your desires lightly, treating them as honored guests rather than captured prizes, they settle naturally into your experience. The universe's abundance seeks those who trust enough to keep their palms open, who understand that receiving is an act of faith. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and sit in peaceful contemplation. Extend your hands before you, palms facing upward. Feel the tension in your fingers as you first clench them tight, holding on to imaginary concerns. Then, slowly, deliberately, release your grip. Let your fingers unfurl like petals opening to the sun. As your palms open fully, experience the lightness, the readiness to receive. Breathe deeply into this posture of allowing, feeling new blessings settling naturally into your open hands. Hold this position while affirming silently, I release control and welcome abundance's natural flow. Chapter 27. The Vision Already Done. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Lucille Parr meticulously arranged her shop's window display, adjusting each item with painstaking precision. Day after day she toiled, believing success would come only through careful assembly of countless small actions. Yet, despite her diligence, prosperity remained just beyond reach. Her story mirrors many who mistake effort for alignment. The ancient wisdom speaks of a deeper truth. The universe knows no time, no process, no gradual building. It responds only to the completed vibration we hold within. When you resonate with the energy of fulfillment, physical reality has no choice but to reflect that frequency. This is the law that governs all manifestation. Patrick Snow discovered this truth during a moment of pure surrender. Having lost his family business, he sat in his empty warehouse one evening and did something remarkable. He began to feel the joy of success as if it had already happened. He walked the bare floors, seeing them filled with activity. He heard phantom phones ringing with new orders. He felt the satisfaction of prosperity flowing through his accounts. Most importantly, he maintained this feeling not as a wish, but as a present reality. Within weeks, an unexpected partnership emerged. Within months, his warehouse hummed with more activity than before. The physical world had simply aligned with the frequency he had already established in his consciousness. His experience teaches us that creation is not a process of building, but of tuning to completion. When you understand this principle, manifestation becomes effortless. The universe does not require your detailed plans or careful strategies. It asks only that you hold the vibration of your desire as an accomplished fact. This is why those who feel wealthy attract wealth, while those who strive for it often remain in struggle. Think of a radio receiving a broadcast. It does not construct the music note by note. It simply tunes to the frequency where the complete symphony already exists. Your consciousness operates in the same way. When you tune to the frequency of your fulfilled desire, you allow the complete manifestation to emerge in your physical experience. The practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, create a vivid inner film of your life exactly as you wish it to be. See yourself moving through your day surrounded by the evidence of your fulfilled desires. Feel the emotions of accomplishment, gratitude, and joy as if they are your present reality. Let these feelings be the lullaby that carries you into sleep, knowing that consciousness creates while your physical mind rests. As you drift into slumber, trust that you are tuning your entire being to the frequency of completion, allowing the universe to orchestrate its perfect reflection in your waking life. Chapter 28. The Harmony of Contrast. In the heart of her greatest struggles, Ivy Bell discovered a truth that would transform her understanding forever. She had spent years avoiding challenges, seeing them as barriers to her dreams. Yet one autumn morning, as storm clouds gathered overhead, she witnessed something remarkable in her garden. The flowers that had weathered harsh winds stood stronger, their colors more vivid than those sheltered from nature's tests. The universe speaks through contrast. Each challenge you face serves as a tuning fork, adjusting your vibration to a more precise frequency. When you resist difficulties, you resist the very mechanism designed to sharpen your desires and clarify your path. Just as a diamond requires pressure to form, your aspirations need resistance to crystallize into their purest form. Samuel Frost's story illuminates this ancient wisdom. Working as a craftsman, he initially cursed every setback, viewing obstacles as enemies of progress. But one day, while carving an intricate piece, he noticed how the grain's resistance guided his hand to create patterns more beautiful than he had planned. This revelation shifted his entire approach to life. Rather than fighting against challenges, Samuel began welcoming them as master teachers. When clients made difficult requests, he saw opportunities for innovation. When tools broke, he discovered more effective methods. His work transformed from mere craftsmanship to artistry, and soon his reputation spread across the land. What others viewed as misfortune, he recognized as the universe's way of refining his skills. The wisdom reveals itself. Contrast exists not to hinder, but to help. Each obstacle carries within it the seed of greater clarity. When you feel resistance, it means you're being called to a higher vibration. The universe never sends challenges without embedding within them the exact frequency needed for your growth. Think of a musical instrument. Without tension in its strings, it cannot produce clear notes. Similarly, life's tensions tune you to your perfect pitch. Every challenge asks, how clearly do you know what you want? How deeply do you trust the process? The ancient teaching reminds us that darkness defines light, silence shapes sound, and challenges outline desires. When you embrace this truth, difficulties lose their sting. They become sacred adjustments, each one fine-tuning your frequency until it matches perfectly with your deepest desires. Ancient practice. When discomfort appears in your path, pause and breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "Thank you for refining my destiny's note." Feel how this acceptance instantly shifts the energy from resistance to harmony. Let each challenge ring through you like a tuning fork, knowing it brings you closer to your perfect frequency. Practice this until you feel the sweetness hidden within every difficulty, until harmony flows even through life's sharpest moments. Chapter 29. The Breath of Completion. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Nellie Ford meticulously checked items off her endless lists, convinced that through sheer determination she could force life's cycles to conform to her will. Dawn after dawn, she rose earlier, stayed later, and pushed harder, yet satisfaction remained ever elusive, dancing just beyond her grasp. The ancient wisdom whispers that completion follows its own divine timing. Like the ocean's tide or the moon's phases, all things move in natural cycles that cannot be hastened or delayed. Your role is not to force the rhythm, but to align with it. When you resist life's natural cadence, you create friction against the very force designed to carry you forward. The universe operates in perfect cycles of beginning, middle, and end. Each breath you take demonstrates this eternal truth. Inhalation, pause, exhalation, pause. This is the sacred geometry of completion. Arthur King discovered this truth in the quiet hours of defeat. After years of struggling to conclude projects through force of will, he finally surrendered to life's natural timing. In that surrender, he witnessed an extraordinary phenomenon. Ventures he had labored over for months suddenly resolved themselves with elegant simplicity. Opportunities ripened precisely when they were meant to, neither early nor late. His story reveals that completion is not something we achieve, but something we allow. Like a flower blooming, it unfolds according to its own wisdom. Your task is to trust the process, to recognize that everything in your life is moving toward its perfect conclusion in divine timing. The universe knows the precise moment when each cycle must end and another begin. When you align with this knowledge, you step into the flow of effortless completion. Release the need to control the timeline. Trust that what is meant to conclude will conclude. What is meant to begin will begin. Ancient practice, the breath of completion. Find a quiet space where you can breathe freely. With each exhale, imagine releasing what is done, trusting cyclic breath to draw new beginnings effortlessly. Feel how naturally each breath completes itself, requiring no effort from you. Let this rhythm remind you that all things resolve in perfect timing. Practice this whenever you feel the urge to force an ending, allowing life's natural cycles to carry you forward. Chapter 30. The Infinite Return. In a distant village there lived a weaver named Dorothy Webb who spent her days creating intricate tapestries. Each time she completed a masterpiece, she felt a momentary satisfaction before an inexplicable urge to begin anew would arise. This cycle troubled her until she realized that completion itself was an illusion. The universe speaks through eternal cycles. What appears as an ending is merely a transition into a new beginning. Just as waves continuously roll upon the shore, each manifestation flows naturally into the next. The moment you grasp one level of mastery, another beckons. This is not a burden, but a gift, the eternal dance of expansion. When you align with universal energy, you step into an infinite stream of becoming. Each achievement opens the door to greater possibilities, like a spiral staircase ascending forever upward. The law of attraction does not lead to a final destination, but guides you through ever-expanding dimensions of creation. Consider how a tree grows. It does not reach a certain height and declare itself complete. Each season brings new growth, new branches reaching higher toward the light. The tree never questions this continuous expansion. It simply flows with the natural rhythm of becoming. Oliver James, a humble gardener, discovered this truth while tending his flowers. At first he marveled when his intentions manifested as beautiful blooms. But as his awareness deepened, he noticed something remarkable. What once seemed miraculous became natural, and new possibilities emerged. The flowers grew more vibrant, their arrangements more harmonious, their beauty more profound. He realized that mastery was not a destination but a gateway to greater wonders. His story teaches us that as we align with universal energy, what once appeared as extraordinary becomes our natural state. Yet this is not the end. It is an invitation to explore even deeper levels of co-creation with the universe. The secret lies in embracing the eternal nature of growth. Release the need to arrive and instead celebrate the joy of continuous unfoldment. Each breath draws you into greater alignment. Each moment offers a new opportunity to expand your mastery of effortless creation. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space and settle into deep breathing. As you inhale, feel yourself expanding into new levels of possibility. As you exhale, release any attachment to completion. Let gratitude fill your being for the endless dance of becoming. Feel the ease that comes with knowing there is no final destination, only eternal cycles of growth and joy. Continue this breath of perpetual becoming until you sense yourself floating in the infinite stream of creation. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. In the depths of your being lies a truth as ancient as existence itself, the understanding that you are not separate from the energy you seek to direct. Like a wave realizing it is the ocean, this awareness dissolves the very notion of control. The universe does not yield to force, but responds to recognition. Through these teachings, you have uncovered what the sages knew, that mastery comes not from dominating energy, but from dancing with it. Each breath you take is the universe breathing through you. Each thought you hold is cosmic intelligence expressing itself. In this sacred understanding, effort dissolves into grace. The law of attraction reveals itself not as a tool to be wielded, but as the natural expression of your authentic state. When you align with what you are, pure, creative consciousness, reality shapes itself around your being rather than your doing. This is the effortless control the ancients spoke of. Your journey through these chapters has stripped away the complexity of manifestation to reveal its elegant simplicity. You need not push against life's current when you recognize yourself as the water. You need not grasp for abundance when you remember you are abundance itself. This wisdom was never lost, merely forgotten. In remembering, you reclaim your natural state of ease. Creation flows through you as naturally as sunlight through clear glass. Your presence becomes your power. Your peace becomes your proof. The infinite dance of energy responds not to your commands, but to your consciousness. As you release the need to control, you discover you are already that which controls. In this supreme paradox lies ultimate freedom, the realization that you and the creative force were never separate. Let this understanding settle into your cells. You are not the doer, but the awareness through which all is done. In this truth, effort dissolves and mastery remains.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.